What's up, Internet? My name is TridentLion, and this video is all about the psychology of wealth, real wealth, from the book Unshakeable by Tony Robbins. In the last video on Unshakeable, I go deep into explaining the valuable content Tony Robbins brings us into financial mastery, covering things like the financial rulebook, the financial playbook, and of course the psychology of wealth. Being that the majority of that video was done on the rulebook and playbook, I wanted to go back and elaborate on the last section, the psychology of wealth. Because real wealth is the most important part of the entire book. If you achieve real wealth, then you win. If you are happy, you win in life. Being a suffering, rich asshole is not victorious in any way. Seriously. Now, what is the point to amassing great riches if you're going to be miserable? Tony Robbins actually considers being rich and miserable to be the ultimate failure. Financial freedom is awesome in every single way. However, it is not enough. You must accumulate real wealth. The idea is to be happy with your life, to live out a life based on your terms. The goal is not to be rich and suffer, nor is the goal to be poor and suffer. The goal is to live an extraordinary life. When people dream about becoming wealthy, they do not specifically fantasize about the actual figures and numbers themselves, but instead they fantasize about the emotions that wealth can bring them: security, comfort, freedom. Real wealth is far more than just money. Real wealth is psychological well-being, as well as spiritual and emotional well-being. Make the decision to live in a beautiful state. In the last video, I break down some very clear examples of the differences between a suffering state and a beautiful state. Make the choice to be in a beautiful state. Remember, 80% of success is psychology and only 20% is mechanics. Don't make a financial goal with an emotional contingency saying that you will be happy once you achieve the goal. With that type of an attitude, you might never ever be happy. Fall in love with the process to accumulating your fortune. Enjoy the journey every day along the way. It can take time to accumulate a fortune, which is fine. Have patience. However, psychological, emotional, and spiritual wealth you can attain right now. All it takes is a choice to exist in a beautiful state. Do it right now. Feel yourself to be in a beautiful state. One way you can put yourself in a beautiful state that I found to work best is by expressing what you are truly grateful for. Feel the power of gratitude. Now, let's go back to that common goal that we all share, the life goal, the goal to live an extraordinary life. In order to achieve this goal, there are two skills that you must master. The first skill is the science of achievement. The second is the art of fulfillment. Now let's get into the first skill, the science of achievement. In almost every field, there are rules of success, and when followed, you'll be rewarded with success. A great hack to achieving financial mastery is to model the strategies, principles, tools of previous successful people before you. With the science of achievement, there are 3 key steps that can enable you to achieve whatever it is that you want in life. The first step is to focus. When you put your entire focus onto something that really matters to you, this burning desire can help you to obtain what might otherwise be unattainable. The second step to the science of achievement is to go beyond hunger, drive, and desire. There are a lot of people out there that tend to dream big, but never ever get started on the path to achieving what it is that they're dreaming of. This step, you need to stop dreaming, stop pondering, and instead take massive action. Learn as you go. And of course, one way to speed this process exponentially is to model people who have already achieved massive success. If you can possibly prevent mistakes along the way, then that's a huge time saver. Now the last step to the science of achievement, step 3, which is grace. Grace is the third step to achieving whatever it is that you want. Be grateful and appreciative for what you do have. The more you recognize grace, the more grace will be present in your life. Be grateful for the fact that you didn't have to earn something like your brain or your heart. It was simply given to you. I remember seeing Tony's documentary on Netflix, I'm Not Your Guru. And towards the end, Tony's crowd was doing a heart meditation. And part of the heart meditation, he says, feel the power of your heart. Feel grateful that it was given to you and that you didn't have to earn it. What a powerful truth that is. When I first saw this, I got an intense rush of gratitude. So there you have the first skill needed to achieve the life goal of living an extraordinary life. The second skill to master is even more important than the first skill. The second skill is called the art of fulfillment. What's the point of mastering your external world if you can't even master your internal world? Mastery of your internal world is so important. This is where you can get a better grip on your psychological and emotional well-being, to be happy and mentally healthy. The art of fulfillment is how we can reduce and overcome the suffering we experience in our lives. To live an extraordinary life, we must learn how to not suffer and also assist others in not suffering as well. And of course, as I said, gratitude is great. Feel yourself to be in a beautiful state right now. In order to achieve fulfillment, there are 2 principles that you can model. The first principle to model is that you must keep growing. If you are not growing, you're dying. One of my favorite Tony Robbins quotes is progress equals happiness. If you do not keep growing, you will become miserable, frustrated, depressed, irritable, and intellectually stagnant. The second principle you can model to achieve fulfillment is to give. If you want to feel fulfilled, you have to give. In the last video on Unshakeable, I ended the video stating Tony Robbins' secret to life, saying that the secret to living is giving. Tony Robbins has emphasized this over and over again. Think about the last time you shared something with someone, whether it was a slice of pizza, a great idea, valuable advice, whatever. Think about how emotionally fulfilling it was for you. We are all naturally ingrained to care for others and help others. For most people, we are ingrained to care more about others than even ourselves. Think about how most mothers will do anything for their children's well-being and will not even take basic care of themselves. Give as much as you can and as often as you can. In a world where people are constantly divided, give with your heart. To achieve real success, you must feel fulfilled. If you do not have fulfillment, you really have nothing. Unless, of course, you count suffering to be something. Because if you don't have fulfillment, you might have suffering. But you don't want to suffer, I don't want to suffer. And again, it takes commitment and focus. A commitment and focus to living in a beautiful state. Focus your thoughts and direct your mind to be in a beautiful state. I'm sure at some point you have felt frustrated, depressed, angry, scared, jealous, self-pity. Realize suffering is just the result of an undirected mind, which is hell-bent on looking for problems. Whether conscious of it or not, you are focused on 3 suffering triggers. The first one is loss, the second one is less, and the third suffering trigger is never. Let's get into the first suffering trigger, loss. When you focus on loss, you are convincing yourself that a particular problem will cause or has caused you to lose something you value. Whenever you believe the illusion of loss, you will suffer. This is where the art of Stoic philosophy can be extremely valuable in helping you to not only overcome loss, but accept it as an inevitable part of life. But I'll save getting deep into Stoic philosophy for another video. The second suffering trigger is less. Whenever you subject yourself to focusing upon the idea that you have or will have less, then you will suffer. The suffering trigger less can be triggered by what you or others do or fail to do. A powerful remedy against the suffering trigger of less is to drop expectations and feel grateful for what you currently do have. The third suffering trigger is never. A goal to never suffer again might be impossible, but can certainly strive to massively reduce the amount of suffering in your life. And one way you can do it is by reducing the amount of times that you negatively use the word never. When you focus on the idea that you'll never have something you value, whether that be respect, joy, happiness, love, whatever, then you will suffer. So be sure to never ever say the word never. Those three triggers, loss, less, and never, account for probably all of our suffering that we experience. Whatever you choose to focus on, you feel. Your focus creates your feelings, and your feelings are what create your perspective and your overall experience. Either your mind masters you or you master your mind. So if you want to experience an extraordinary life, take control of your mind and focus on the things that put you in a beautiful state. Be the captain of your ship and sail yourself towards your goals, smiling every moment of the journey. In the end, it comes down to your decisions. Our life's shaped by our decisions, not our conditions. Make the most important decision of your life right now in this moment. And I know this is gonna sound very repetitive, but that should show you how freaking important it really is. Make the choice right now and in every future moment to live in a beautiful state. Choosing to live in a beautiful state no matter what happens to you. And in the book, when Tony mentions no matter what happens, he means no matter what. Otherwise, your survival mind will create suffering in you whenever your desires and expectations are not met. Life truly is such a precious gift and is way too short to suffer. Here's a powerful affirmation from the book to declare yourself to no longer suffer. I'm done with suffering. I'm going to live my life every day to the fullest and find juice in every moment, including the ones I don't like, because life is too short to suffer. There are several different techniques you can implement in order to grasp control over your mind and direct it towards achieving the goal of being in a beautiful state. One technique is called the 90-second rule. Give yourself 90 seconds to stress about it, and then after 90 seconds, stop suffering and return to being in a beautiful state. Another technique which comes to mind is called the 5-5 rule. If what you're stressing about is not going to bother you in 5 years, why waste more than 5 minutes suffering about it? Negative thoughts will always be available. A negative perspective is always an option for you. However, positive thoughts are also available, and a positive perspective is also always available for you. Simply choose the one that is more valuable for you. Feeling grateful and appreciative is not only to be used when you're feeling happy. Rather, they are both to be used especially when you are feeling suffering. Be consistent with shifting your mind from a suffering state to a beautiful state. When you're in the heat of the moment, suffering, choose to feel grateful and appreciative. This relentless alchemical approach to transforming your negativity into positivity can actually rewire your nervous system, training your mind to find the good in every situation. So your experience in this life is based on joy and gratitude. This mental alchemy is like any skill. The more you use it, the better you get at it. When you make the daily switch to living in a beautiful state, you become present and valuable to those people in your life that you love. Don't get caught up in the bullshit suffering triggers of loss, less, and never. Instead, be happy. That's the goal, right? The more happy you are, the more you can positively impact those around you that you love, as well as your business, your friends, your environment, etc. Living your life in a beautiful state, no matter what, is the ultimate treasure and the ultimate freedom in life. It's an experience of true wealth, absolute abundance, and an abundance of joy. Financial abundance will be achieved for you as long as you can model the successes of others and follow what we've discussed in the first video. However, what is better is that you possess real wealth, emotional, psychological, and spiritual wealth right now. The decision to do so rest in your hands. Only you and you alone can give yourself an extraordinary life. Only you can reduce and or eliminate the suffering in your life. So I end this video with a challenge for you. I challenge you to now take action. Do what you need to do when you need to do it. Make the promise now to yourself that you will commit to live every single day, no matter what life throws at you. Commit to living in a beautiful state. Thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is TridentLion. Please be sure to hit the like button on this video. Also, leave a comment below. What is your favorite way to be in a beautiful state? Do you tend to be super grateful? Do you tend to do affirmations? Do you meditate? What do you specifically do to be in a beautiful state, so that in the comments below we can kind of feed off of each other to have more tools in our tool belt to be in a beautiful state? And if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I am truly grateful for it. And until the next video, remember to always be learning, always be creating, and always be inspired.